once again, there are many secret and hidden gems out there. Some not that you'll probably won't find in stores that you probably need to order online. Titanic, the board game, is very rare, but if I ever get it, we'll review it. But that's another day. But one of the good gems that I've picked up is this one, Hex by Smirk and Dagger Games. We'll be right back, and right after this wipe, we'll dig right in. Hex comes with a lot of things, and it may look complicated at first, but it's basically, as I referenced the game instructions, like a delightfully mean-spirited game of hot potato. Play cards from your hand to redirect hex tokens. Those hex tokens. Let you see that up close and personal. Pass to you until a player is unable to pass the hex and becomes hexed. The hex player loses points, voice, while the player last passed them and gains points, and the player with the most points wins the game. Sounds complicated at first, but there are many things to this game that are just very pleasant and very evil and very fun. So, if I can read this correctly, there are 150 hex cards. I'm just going through the box now. Looks like some hex cards go in here. We'll go through that in a bit, but hex cards, and each card does something different, and there are some repeats, which I don't mind, because honestly, card games most likely live in one that I shall not be mentioned for the time being. Need repeats, cards that do the same things. And yes. And it can be helpful to have same cards that you don't need, and it's good for the strategy of this game. Now, let me just get everything out of the box. Be right back. Right. As you can see, there are a lot of things in box, but let's just get to the base game before we go into the variants. And yes, this game the XL version of this game comes with variants, which is very interesting and very pleasing to me. There are lots of hex tokens, which we'll get to later, but this game has 3 to 6 players, and the first thing you do is give everybody their voice cards. Voice cards are basically points, and they can be gained and lost throughout the game. So let's just say, sitting here, then second place, using a voice for effect. I'm going to play with 4 players. Just random number, not really picking or choosing here. We'll play with 4 players. 4 players. We'll put the X and sticks over here. Now, next thing you do is shuffle the deck, which I will do appropriately, and I'm such a good shuffler because, you know, I took my day. Don't you miss it? Don't you miss it? Too bad you'll never get it back. Okay. We'll see. Maybe I'll do something for my 50th video on YouTube. Please say once. Girl. So, obviously, these cards are kind of thick, and 150 cards are kind of hard to deal, shuffle. But everybody gets exactly 5 cards to deal with. And deal however you want. Some people like dealing separately in 2s or 3s to make dealing go faster. Personally, I like dealing 1 by 1, but you're welcome to your own opinion, no matter how wrong it is. Alright, it is. I'm making fun of myself, I guess. I don't know. So, as you look at your hand, you'll see the regular cards turn side rights. They look like this. Or turn side left, which is an arrow point to the left. And different kind of cards, and those are basic things, like the fact in trying to find a standing card. There are cards that say, play immediately, which you need to play immediately. If you do not, that is not a good thing. It's not one of them. I do not have any. Do not think. Okay. One of these is play immediately. Marked man, which gives you more cards, or basically play immediately, and you have to read the cards. Read cards before you start the game, because that's probably one of the most important things. So the player to the dealer, whoever dealt and left. Am I doing that right? Yes, left. That's my left. Gets cast the first hex, and they don't have to play a card to do this. So this is, they say hex, that person's name, and let's say there's a person named, a girl named Sally over there, and hex Sally, and now she has to play a card. And luckily, I have my camera set up so I can look at these. And you can too. So, let's see here. We have a double and thrice, which we don't want to do yet. Rot. Deflect across, basic one. Stun, and dismiss. So let's say Sally wants to deflect across. It goes to the person across the table. Now in games of 2s or 3s, it has to be across the table no matter what, but it's the person to your right. You can't really do anything if there's just three people playing and there's really nobody across the table from you. So this goes to this person, and then the game continues until somebody cannot play the hex. So let's just say that everybody's played and lands on this unfortunate person. They are now hexed. Let's say this guy hexed him. So this guy goes down a voice. So that goes up, not down. I know, it's confusing. And hit the player who hexed him goes down, not up. And the play continues until you get back to the player who dealt. And when you do, the player with the least voice goes and decides who's dealing and casts the first hex. Now, whenever you get hexed, you get one of these lovely hex tokens. Congratulations, you've been hexed. Oh, I'm very, very silly. It's basically, and it really doesn't affect anything. But if you're about to be hexed, if you end up hexed and you have one of those cards that say, playable only when hexed, play it. Because usually they're good things unless you have curse, which is not a good thing because it makes you lose voice. Now we should go on to the dos game variants. The game goes normally for most of these. For both of these, mostly. And so play in vexed play goes like normal. And player gets hexed, and player goes around. Player has to play cards. Whoever can't play hex is hexed. But now only they are also vexed. And vexed does varying things. This is just one of these things. I'll read it. Vexed players must place a thumb on the edge of the table as they pass the hex to the left. If they don't, their card is cancelled and they must place it into another player's hand. They may then play another card from their hand. And play continues until somebody's won. And something very special, which I like from games that do this, like, you know, is they give you blank cards to rate your own vexes. Mine are very, very stupid and very, very silly. Because, you know me. Vex player may only speak in movie titles. Yes, I'm evil. And the other one is must embed. Must say embed after you, whenever you play a card. So, for example, I would play turn it side right, embed, and that would be that. The next game variant is a lot like spoons. Now these purple cards get separated, and the rest of these cards that you see here are put in the decks, and they has basically different things. And basically, all these put in a circle, and there's probably one play. You have one less than people playing. And just sorry about this. Live, everybody. No, it's not actually live. So basically, whenever if somebody plays a grab card, everybody has to grab them, and whoever doesn't have any has to, at the end of each round, I do believe. These come up, and usually they do bad or good things, depending on which. Now, let's take a look at the design, shall we? I generally get like this feel and look at the cards. Varying symbols. I wonder if they actually looked up symbols from witchcraft, because it reminds me of witchcraft stuff, which symbols on witchcraft and such, and it's a really interesting game, and it's very much worth picking up, and it gets a 9 out of 10. See you next time. And this is that much, guys, signing off, saying, if you get bored, pick up again.